Welcome to the Three Questions webcast series. I'm Wayne Baxter, Senior Executive Manager with One Capital Management. On this edition of the webcast, we're going to speak to a professional branding expert and ask the three questions cross-border entrepreneurs should ask before building their business on LinkedIn. Thank you for taking time to check us out. And if you enjoyed this episode of the Three Questions webcast series, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our YouTube channel. Now, my clients are often referred to as cross-border clients. Why is that? Well, it's because they're either U.S. or Canadian residents who invest in U.S. and or Canadian dollar-denominated securities like stocks, bonds, and ETFs. Well, in capital management, we develop and implement strategies that strive for our clients to grow, protect, and ultimately distribute their wealth, and we do that by offering investment wealth management services. Our process for advising our clients includes an in-depth discovery and diagnostic analysis of their wealth management goals and objectives. And for some of our clients, their focus may be on building their business in order to create wealth. In addition to thinking about their wealth management goals, they're going to focus on developing a strategy to build their business. If you'd like to learn more about building your business on LinkedIn in Canada or the US, you won't want to miss this episode of the Three Questions webcast. Stay tuned. On this edition of the webcast, we're going to cover the three questions cross-border entrepreneurs should ask before building their business on LinkedIn. Now, business development is not a do-it-yourself only process. Take my word for it on that one. Whether you live in Canada or the US, branding and marketing your business requires consultation and working with many experts. For those who use it, LinkedIn is a valuable platform to build brand awareness and customer loyalty. And joining me from San Rafael, California is Angela Duns. Angela is a business developing and professional branding and visibility specialist. She provides business developing and strategy using LinkedIn, and she is great at it. Angela, hello. Thank you for making time to join me today. Appreciate it.
Oh, I am so happy to be here, Wayne.
Yeah, well, I'm really happy about this myself. We've had a lot of fun conversations over the last few months, and I'm really glad we were able to make time to actually join the webcast here, and we can share some of the great ideas that you've shared with me. And
I have been looking forward to it.
for sure. Well, I think we're preaching from the same, songbook here that, LinkedIn, there's no question that LinkedIn plays a big part in branding and marketing business these days. The online stats, I actually did some research here, just so you know, it might probably surprise you a little bit, but I did some research. And the online stats tell us that most companies on LinkedIn are small to medium-sized business, which I know is right in your wheelhouse. About 80% of business marketing leads to some form of social media through LinkedIn, right? B2B
Yes.
marketers use LinkedIn for organic social marketing. About half of social media traffic to a company's website comes from, guess where? LinkedIn. More than half of small businesses, and I guess this would be both Canada and the US, invest in social media marketing. So all that being said, now this, like I said, falls right into your lab because this really talking about the people that you work with. So maybe just spend a little bit of time with us here on your practice and how you serve your clients.
Well, I started doing business development back when LinkedIn was still considered a job seekers platform. So it was a little bit of a hard sell. But I really focused from the get-go on helping people build their businesses on LinkedIn. And it's really not as hard as you think. I mean, LinkedIn is a fantastic B2B tool, and one of its best uses is relationship building. If you're a good networker or a good relationship builder, LinkedIn is really just an extension of what you do. And if you can shift your mindset there, it's easy.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, when they first started utilizing LinkedIn, looked at it as nothing more than a virtual business card.
Or a
Name, rank,
resume.
and serial number. You know what I mean? Like name, rank, and serial number. And it was like a
Yes,
static sort of web page that just sat there.
exactly. And it really is something that is very dynamic. And these days, it shouldn't be all about you, it should be client focused.
Interesting. Uh, Had to get rid of those ingrown eyeballs. Well, listen, why don't we go right to the three questions here and get started here and see, again, these are the three questions cross-border entrepreneurs. So we're not focusing specifically on Canadians or Americans. If you live in North America and probably even overseas, even this would probably apply to you. These are the three questions cross-border entrepreneurs should ask before building their business on LinkedIn. And question number one, start with a big one first. What is the most important thing I can do to make my LinkedIn page effective?
Well, the number one thing that I want people to understand that LinkedIn, first and foremost, is not about you. It is about your ideal client and what their problem is and how you uniquely solve that problem. So a lot of people, their about section is going to say, I did this and I did that and I am this and that kind of thing. And nobody cares until they know what you can do for them. So making your profile client focused and very clear about the problem that you solve and the results that people can enjoy if they work with you is the number one most important thing you can do. And it's basically a mindset shift.
Mhm.
It's not focused about you. I mean, yes, it's great that you're a super lawyer or whatever the thing is that you are.
Cross-border financial advisor, for example.
Yes, award
Just putting it
winning
out there.
or whatever it might be. First and foremost, you need to speak to your people.
All right. So, and again, this goes back, you talk about change in mindset. I think a lot of marketing people, I think old school, I think I used the term a minute ago, like they have ingrown eyeballs. They tend to focus on what they do and what's unique about them, and they don't spend enough time learning about the person they're trying to connect with.
Exactly.
So rule number one, turn those eyeballs out the other way around and going out this way.
Yep. Really focus on, you want to pierce your ideal client through the heart with what their problem is and really get their attention. And then create that know, like, and trust so that they can understand how you uniquely can serve them with that specific problem.
All right. So turn those eyeballs around and talk about what you can do as opposed to what your client needs.
Yes.
Perfect.
Client focused.
Client focus. Okay. Question number two. What is the best use of LinkedIn for business development?
Well, interestingly enough, it's really relationship building. It's really just that simple. There are two fantastic uses. If you go to a networking event, it's great when you meet a new contact and you get so excited about this new contact. Well, then what? Then what? It's kind of awkward. How are you going to stay in touch with them? The very next step is to connect with them on LinkedIn. And for the first 2 weeks that you're connected to somebody on LinkedIn, if you're posting content, LinkedIn will send them a notification that you just posted something. So it's an additional way for people to get to know what it is that you do and who you are as a professional. And then nurturing is the next thing. So creating and keeping track of and nurturing relationships is the number one best use of LinkedIn for business development.
So,
And that takes a little bit of time.
so that's really interesting. I got to admit, I learned something here. I must admit, we never talked about this. Not that I would expect we would, but so that's a key little denote there that you made about. So when I connect with somebody for the first time, there's a much
Yes.
higher chance that they're going to see a LinkedIn post that I make in that first 2 week period than later on.
Yes.
And that's sort of an algorithm that's already sort of pre-established. So
It's a notification that automatically goes out.
Interesting. All right. Noted.
You have a huge
right.
opportunity in those first 2 weeks.
Angela, there you go. Learn something new every day. Okay. So question number three. What is the number one strategy for visibility on LinkedIn?
Well, a lot of people mistakenly think that content is really about the only way that you can stay visible on LinkedIn, and that's just not true. I had a client who really took one of my strategies and worked it to the extreme. and within a single year gained about 3,000 connections on LinkedIn. And that strategy is this: figure out who the people are that are in the conversation that is at the top of your industry and comment relevant comments on their posts. It is the number one way to gain visibility on LinkedIn.
Interesting. So this is a bit time consuming. What you were saying is that you had to spend time on LinkedIn, enough time on LinkedIn to find those posts that are at the top of the food chain, basically, and then connect yourself to them, basically, is what you're saying in a layman's explanation.
And yes, and follow them. For example, yesterday, one of my colleagues, he and I share each other's content all the time because his content is just so good. So I shared a poll that he put out there about, there's so many people that will just automatically add you to their newsletter list without your permission, which is really a no-no these days. And he put a poll out there, is it okay? Is it not okay? Or undecided? And it's so funny because it was 0% said it was okay. 0%.
Interesting.
So anytime you comment on somebody who's a mover and shaker in your industry, and sometimes it might be a competitor, sometimes it might be an influencer, you just never know. Now, Robert is another LinkedIn consultant, but he's in a no compete vertical. He and I are not competing against each other at all. He works with mid-sized to enterprise insurance companies. That's not my market at all. Mm-hmm. So we share each other's content when it's relevant for our audience. And that gets both of us a great deal of visibility. Now, the key is a relevant comment.
No, you want to be relevant. That makes sense.
If you say I agree, or nice job on this post,
good idea. Me too.
Or insightful.
I agree. Really... Yes, 2 thumbs up. Okay, I have a sort of sub question or part B to that, and it's on people that you allow to connect to you. That subject. Do you just anybody who basically requests a connection? Do you automatically? Do you automatically allow everyone to join, or do you have a screening process that you use for yourself, or any comments or suggestion on that? Like, because people all the time are requesting to connect and from all over the place.
When I speak, there are 2 questions I always get asked every single time I speak somewhere. This is one of them, and the other one is premium or no. So let's address this question first. I recommend very highly that everybody have a connection strategy. Who is it that is important for you to be connected to on LinkedIn? Now, my particular criteria is, are they a potential client? Are they a potential referral partner? Are they on a board for an association that could invite me to speak at some point in time? Definitely on the no side of that list is, are they going to try to sell me a website? Are they going to try to make me a 7-figure coach in 90 days or less? Or the one that I get every single day without fail is, would you like to join our project management certification course? I don't know what the deal is with that particular scam. Send us your money and we'll never send you anything. I'm not sure what that is, but I certainly do not need a management certification of any kind right now. So I'm very picky. I will look at their profile and decide very quickly, is this likely to be a pitch, or is this likely to be an important connection? Now, if you take that one step further, every time somebody connects with you, I highly recommend that you send them a very simple welcome message, because those people that you do connect with They're important people. So acknowledge the fact that they connected with you. And mine is super simple. I just say, thank you so much for connecting, Wayne. Welcome to my network. Now, that does a couple of things. Number one, it ensures them that you're not going to pitch them right out of the box. And number two, that you're genuinely happy that they've joined your network.
Interesting. Just a wealth of knowledge, Angela. I really appreciate you taking time here. Angela Dunn, she's a LinkedIn guru, I will call her. Okay. I know, listen, you know what? I think we talked about this and we've agreed. We're going to have you come back and we're going to focus on some other, maybe more specific items within this whole space. But before we go, I always like to talk about this when I have an expert like you on, and that is like, what are the things we should be avoiding? Like if you're using LinkedIn, like what are the mistakes that you see everybody doing? You go, oh no, don't do, like, is there a common error that us LinkedIn users are doing that we could avoid? It'd be best if we did.
Well, I'll tell you, here in the Bay Area, we're very judgy about LinkedIn profiles. We are.
I don't know. It's just in the Bay Area?
Well, I'm telling you, compared to other major metro areas, we are particularly judgy about LinkedIn profiles.
Noted.
And the number one thing that I hear people complain about here is, oh my gosh, that person doesn't have a banner. And that is that space behind your photo. It's the largest piece of real estate that you have on LinkedIn, and you should be taking full advantage of that. If you know any authors or public speakers, they take full advantage of that space. And it really looks unprofessional if you're just having the gray generic background that says nothing and looks like nothing. That's one of the biggest mistakes. The above the fold view, you get 5 seconds to make an impression. And if that banner is
first impression makes is the longest one, right? The best.
You might lose that person forever. Why would they ever come back?
Yeah, interesting. All right. I would suspect that folks who watch or listen to us today are going to say, I probably should talk to Angela here about my LinkedIn page. So with that being the case, what is probably the best way for them to reach you? How can they connect with you the easiest way?
I think I'm the only Angela Dunns on LinkedIn. And at the very top of my profile, you can actually get right onto my calendar. There is a clickable link above the fold on my profile.
All right. So just go to your LinkedIn page.
Yes.
Interesting. Noted. Well, Angela, I want to thank you so much for making time again for me today. Angela Dunns is a business development professional, branding and visibility specialist. She provides business development and strategies using LinkedIn, and she is really good at what she does. Angela, thanks a lot for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Wayne. It was super fun talking with you again.
I look forward to bringing you the 3 Questions webcast series, and I hope you find them educational and informative. Please consider liking this video and subscribing to our YouTube channel. And to receive notification of when our latest webcast has been posted, please click on the notifications bell. Lastly, to subscribe an online Zoom consultation with me to discuss your wealth management needs, please click on the link in the description box below, www.onecapital.com/meetwithwayne.